Hello, everybody. It is so nice to be here. I was going to go live yesterday, and then I thought, no, everybody is at a pool party or doing something like that. So I wanted to wait until today to say hello, check in, and today we're going to talk about money. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Jillian Leslie, and I am host of the Blogger Genius podcast, hence the name of this group, Become a Blogger Genius, because that is my hope for all of you. So I also, with my husband, we worked together, started Catch My Party in 2009, which is like a long time ago now. And then we built Milo Tree, our pop-up app. And from that, I started my podcast now over 3 years ago. I put out an episode every week. If you do not subscribe to the Blogger Genius podcast, please do. In fact, I'm going to, while we talk about this, I'm going to create a banner that says, subscribe to the Blogger Genius podcast. Woo, look at this. That worked. Show. Yes. Okay. I love this. This is StreamYard, which is the service that I'm using. So I can do cool stuff like this. And I really like it, but it is kind of expensive. Anyway, I want to say welcome. If you are watching the replay of this, please write hashtag replay just so I know where you're from, and then I can reach out and say hello and thank you for coming. Okay, today I want to talk about my most recent podcast. And if you listen to it, I would love to know your thoughts about it and if parts of it resonated. Okay, so a woman, a blogger named Allison Baggerly, reached out to me, and she has a blog called Inspired Budget. And she teaches people how to budget. And she's like, hey, could I come on your podcast? I think we could talk about a lot of stuff. And I said, you know what I want to talk about is money for bloggers, not just money for everybody, but money and blogging and how those things relate. Because I think anybody who is watching this is not a hobby blogger, but is actually a blogger who is a professional, who is there to monetize. And Allison started her blog because she had over $100,000 in debt. And what I want to know is, if you are a person with debt, significant debt, is it realistic to then go start a business? Because the thing we all know is you have to spend money to make money. And so how do you balance that if you have debt? That's a really interesting question. And one thing that we talked about was, yes, you can start a business with debt. And the best part about starting a blog is that it is relatively inexpensive. So we help people start their WordPress blogs. We charge under $1,000 to set up a blog. So that's like some upfront costs. You can do it yourself, but that can be trickier. I kind of recommend having somebody that you trust, like us, help you set up your blog. But then after that, buying a theme, is maybe $50. Hosting is probably, we like SiteGround, and it's like $10 a month. And having like an email service provider, which we recommend, you get your first 1,000 subscribers for free. So if you think about the costs to starting a blog, they are not that high. Where it can get expensive is all the bells and whistles, like courses, for example, or hiring people to help you, VAs, that kind of thing. But you don't need to do that in the beginning. And this is something that Allison and I talk about. Now, here is the piece that I think some bloggers miss. And we talk about this. This is the idea that somehow I'm going to start a blog, I'm going to write some content on something I'm interested in, or maybe a variety of topics that I'm interested in. I'm going to push it out. I'm going to share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram. All these people are going to be coming to my blog, and I'm going to start making boatloads, let's say, of money. And it doesn't work that way. Blogging, I was just writing an email for my subscribers. And I was saying, like, here is really what it takes to start making money as a blogger. It takes, and you know this, but I'm going to say it again because this is the secret, and it's not really a secret. One, consistency, showing up over and over again, creating content. Two, having a very specific niche of people that you serve. Do I believe being broad in terms of areas of content? Like, should you go that way? I don't. I think the more narrow you are, the more you can build a relationship, the better. I think it is about having, and this is something Allison and I talk about, a plan for monetizing. How do you plan to make money? The thing with blogging is we wear so many hats. You wake up in the morning and you're like, what do I tackle today? Because there's content creation, there's photography, there's sharing it on social, making sure you've got pins, making sure it's on Instagram, making sure you're sharing it on Facebook. Maybe you have a Facebook group. Who knows? Like, you've got your email list, you're trying to grow your email list, but where are you making money? And so one thing that Allison said that I thought was really great is she started with digital products and selling them on Etsy. And I recommend something like that. I say one of the secrets for bloggers who make money is they sell products and they think about products from the beginning. They are in there saying, what can I sell to my audience that solves problems for them, that they are willing to open their wallets out, take out their credit card and pay for this solution. So a lot of times bloggers go, well, wait a second, I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm making no money because they put up some Google AdSense. They're trying to get into Mediavine. That is a long road. Not that that's a bad goal, but you want to be setting things in place. You want to be testing early so that you can go, oh, I created this digital product kind of quickly, let's say in Canva, or I hired somebody off of Fiverr to create this solution. Could I put it up on Etsy? Can I get sales? Like, that's where what I recommend you focus on, rather than I need to grow my Instagram followers, or I need to pay somebody to manage my Instagram account to grow my followers. And I always say, well, why are you growing your followers? How is that directly leading you to be making money? So it's really about being practical. You know that the outgoing expenses don't necessarily have to be high. However, your time is expensive and you want to figure out the shortest route to monetizing. And this is where I go, think about products from the get-go. Think about serving your audience from the get-go. That is how you get that connection. That's how you start to, make sales. Even if it's $10, it's validating that you know what you're doing, that you're on the right path, rather than I'm going to think about creating products or monetizing later. No, I want you to think about that from the beginning. So one thing that Allison and I talk about is putting together a budget. You know what your fixed costs are, or your monthly costs. So this would be, again, your hosting. You need to buy your URL once a year. Like, I'm using StreamYard for this. Like, what services? I pay for the professional Canva subscription, but I didn't forever. So that's another one. Like, I was just using free Canva for the longest time. Then I realized my needs changed and I needed to spend $10 a month on that. But like, what services do I really need? Are there free versions of them? And can I do it cost effectively? And then the question is, how long am I going to stay at this and give myself to make this a business? And this is, again, where that intentionality comes in, because as I said, you're not going to create 5 blog posts and money is just magically going to fly in your window. It doesn't work like that. It's about you building out your business, thinking in terms of money from day one, not just what recipe should I make, but how can this recipe turn into an e-cookbook? Or how can I then reach out to brands, to sponsors that I use all the time, products that I use all the time, and say, hey, how can I work with you and make money doing this? Okay. So we talked about, so I recommend a monetization plan. I recommend you go, well, I'm going to start with some digital products. I'm going to reach out to these sponsors. I'm going to maybe find some affiliate products that I can promote. Like that's a monetization plan. And because chances are you're going to try something and it won't work. And this is so painful. It's like, it's going to take multiple experiments and iterations to find that success. So I say definitely a budget and definitely a monetization plan. And one easy way to start monetizing is printables in an Etsy shop that solve a specific problem. Are you going to get rich on digital products and on Etsy? Probably not, but it will lead you to the next thing. That's what I would say. So it might lead you ultimately all of this to a membership. In fact, David and I are really excited because we are building out a product where you can collect money on your blog really easily and like manage a membership site so that you don't have to have all of these systems that you put into place. But boom, we're calling it the Milo Tree money button, where you can collect money easily. Like that is a way to monetize. I wish I had learned this earlier on my own journey, that to think about money first, rather than I'm going to just build stuff and then figure that out later. That has to be right at the top. So that's one. And another thing that we talked about is the value of tripwires, which means I get somebody onto my list, and on my thank you page, I show them a deal for something inexpensive that they could buy, usually a printable, usually a digital product, that they can buy at a reduced price for a limited amount of time. So again, this is a way to start thinking in terms of products. I can't say it enough. Now, this is one thing though that can be overwhelming. You will go to see somebody's business and they will have all these moving parts, right? So you sign up for their list and then you're going to get this great downloadable or whatever it is, this freebie. And then they've got a tripwire, and then you're on their email list and they're selling you all this cool stuff. And you go, oh my God, how did they put this together? This looks so intimidating. And the truth of the matter is, you build your business one layer at a time. So these people who have all of these moving parts have done this piece by piece over time. So for you, my recommendation is, okay, you just do the basics. So you start blogging and you start with, 10 different posts that are related to each other. So you can start to, in Google's eyes, gain some expertise in something. I wouldn't be just putting out some disparate posts. I would say, I'm going to focus on preschool children, activities for preschoolers. Boom, there you go. Maybe it's, organic products. Like I don't know what the niching down is even when it comes to preschoolers, but that's like how niche I would think. And then I would come up with 10 different posts that talk about this in a variety of different ways that could all be connected to each other, linked to each other, because it all makes sense. And a lot of building a business is stepping back and going, does this make sense? If somebody were to come blind to my blog, would they understand what I'm about? Would they understand my point of view? Is everything I'm building connected to this very strong point of view? This is like the work you do beforehand. Like you go, I'm going to, take 10 minutes and write down 10 different product ideas that maybe I could build or sell. That's the kind of thinking beforehand. Instead of, I wake up in the morning and I go, what am I going to blog about? Oh, I'll just blog about this. Oh, and then tomorrow, oh, maybe I'll blog about that. Like really intentionality, I think, is key. Okay. So build though one level at a time. You will not be kind to yourself in this process. It takes time, which is why when you set up your business realistically and you say, how long am I going to give myself until I can make money? There are two things to that. One is to be kind to yourself and recognize it's not going to happen overnight. And two, to set yourself up though to have that level of success so that things are lined up so that once something starts connecting, you can get that to potentially snowball. Okay. And the other thing is to be thinking about multiple streams of income. Are there brands you could reach out to say, I'd love to work with you and do some sponsor content? Are there digital downloads that you could sell? Could you do some affiliate sales? Those things. That's how is there a membership that I could be thinking about? Can I do consulting and coaching? Those things. Like think about a variety of those. Do not do them all at once, but start to go, okay, I'm going to kind of dip my toe in a variety of different ponds and see which ones are giving me where I'm getting traction. Okay, so think about that. And then the question is like, well, what about all these courses? And some of them can cost as much as $2,000. Are they worth it? Well, I would say anything under $100 could be worth it. Think about what you can budget for. But a lot of times people who sell these very expensive courses do a lot of free content. So they do webinars and they teach a lot of what they are going to teach in these big expensive courses. So look for the free content. Use Google for when you have questions about things. It's amazing how much information is out there if you know how to find it. So join the email list of the people you're interested in, especially if they have courses, because chances are they will do free webinars or videos or emails, whatever it is. And you want to consume as much of their free content as possible. And here's the secret. They're kind of sharing a bunch of their best stuff in their free workshops. Like they're not, because they want it to be so good that you're willing to, again, open up your pocketbook and put down a couple $100, if not thousands of dollars. So they have to prove that to you. How do they prove that to you? By sharing their really good content. So if you are astute and know this, you can get pretty far just by paying attention, showing up for these teaching sessions, workshops, that kind of thing. So is it worth it for courses? In the beginning, it's worth it for inexpensive courses. Now, one thing that I liked that Allison said is she will only buy these incredibly expensive courses if she knows she can make it back. So it's not just like, oh, eventually I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to buy this expensive course, but I'm not really there yet. She knows that within 6 months, she can make that back, if not more. And that's when she will do it. And then she will not buy another expensive course until she's made back her money. And I thought, God, that seemed super smart. Now, 2 more things I want to share. One is, this is tricky. It's easy. It's easy to say, hard to do. And this is to build an online business. You're your boss. And there's no bigger boss that's going to get mad at you if you don't do your work. It's really just you. So how can you put systems in place where you hold yourself accountable? In my Facebook group that you're in, if you're not, join it. It's the Become a Blogger Genius Facebook group. I ask people when they join, like, what are they struggling with? And I cannot tell you how many people say consistency, showing up, being able to do the work. That is one of the trickiest parts, because there are days you wake up and you do not want to do this. And the truth is, the people who show up are the ones who find success. So that is like the dirty secret of blogging and online business. You have a day where you don't want to get up. That's a day where you're not moving your business forward. And I say, just do one thing. Reply to one email, just so you keep your momentum, because you will not be able to show up every day with the same enthusiasm. It's true. You will have your ups and downs. So kind of factor that in. But I hold myself to doing at least one thing for my business every day. And most days I do much more than that. But on a day that I feel yucky, or I'm busy, or I'm being a mom, or whatever, I still do one thing. And then the final thing I want to share is my concept of B- work. You want to grow your online business? You please embrace this idea. B- work is above average. I'm not saying do C-level work, but it's doable. And it's the kind of work where it will get you far enough so that you can then show it to your audience, be a little embarrassed, and get feedback. Get them on your side. Say, I want to build this with you. I want you as my partner in this. Here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Is this providing you value? I'm putting together something we have a coaching group we're doing a session on Thursday, and it's like how to make an opt-in. And I say, have it be high in value and low in design. Like people, if you can provide real value, that's the most important thing. And then if people like it, then go work on the design of it. Then maybe hire somebody on Fiverr to make it look pretty. But really, it's about what value can you provide. And B- work provides a ton of value. I would say that it's more like it's like substance over style versus style over substance. You want to provide the substance, and then the style can come later once you recognize, oh, the substance is really that I'm like making a difference. So those are the things I wanted to share about making money as a blogger and how to think about it. And even if you have debt and you do not have extra money, the great thing about being a blogger is it doesn't cost a lot, but it's about keeping your eye on the prize. And that is making money and not assuming it's just going to A, happen, or B, happen in 3 years just magically. It won't. It's about putting the pieces in place piece by piece, being kind to yourself as you build them out, because it takes a while to do it, and then running with it. So if this is resonating with you, let me know. If you've listened to the episode and you have a major takeaway, please share it, because I would love to hear what you think about this episode and where you struggle with money, because we all do. It's the dirty secret, and it's really hard for us to talk about. It's when I'm doing my podcast and money starts to come up when I'm interviewing somebody, I can feel the tension of like, how much is she going to ask me about how much money I make? And I think when I do ask, it's always like kind of surprising that I'm going to go there. And there's a reason that this makes us really uncomfortable. And it's because it is uncomfortable. And we all think we should be making more than we are. So I want to leave you with that. Please reach out with your thoughts about this episode, with any questions you have about, should I buy this course? Or does this make sense? Like investing in this versus this? Or how do I show up? Because those are all such good questions, and I'm here to answer them. And I want to wish you a very happy Tuesday. So my daughter graduated from middle school on Friday, so it is summer officially for us, which feels really weird as we come out of this pandemic. It's starting to feel almost normal. She's going to get her second vaccine on Thursday, and then we will all be fully vaccinated, and that is like insane and blowing my mind. So that's what's up with me. Share what's up with you. I'd love to hear it. And I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye-bye.